Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm working on a Tuscan salmon. I know it's fall and not really the time of the year, but I did find some good salmon at the market. Now I've already sauteed it on one side, on the top. I turned it over. I did it for about 5 minutes, and then now it's inside down. I'm doing another 5 minutes. So I'm just going to take this out and set it on a plate over here because it's pretty much done. And I probably have a little more salmon than I want, but the pieces they gave me were bigger than I thought. So let me get this out. Always have one that falls apart just a little bit. Get you there. And put you there. Whew. All right, let me lay this over here. So now to the pan, I'm going to reduce the heat. And I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of butter. And I just use olive oil to do the salmon. Get that cooking. Let's get that little piece of salmon out there. Come on. Melt it down quick. All right. Now to that, I'm going to add 1 small onion that I probably should have diced by now. Don't want this to get too hot. I'm going to turn that off just for a second. Pull this off. You don't want a large onion, just a small, very small onion will do. There we go. And we're just going to dice that in small pieces. Put that in there and let that start. Ooh, jumping around in there. Around. This pan is a little large for this burner. I have to hold on to it a little bit, but this is the only pan I had big enough for the size of the salmon I'm doing. And then I've also got about 5 ounces of sun-dried tomatoes. You can use packed in oil or packed in water. We're just going to give them a little slice. All right. Last ones. All right, let's get that added in. Got one left there. And I'm going to turn this back up to about a medium. And let the tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes and the onions just sweat here for about 2 minutes. Clean up my mess. That salmon just popped oil everywhere on the stove. Get that all cleaned up there. All right. Now that these sweated down a little bit and the oils from the tomato are released, I'm going to put about 4 to 5 cloves of chopped garlic, minced garlic rather. I put that in last because you don't want to put it at the beginning, because if you do, it's going to cook faster and can burn, and that's going to make a really bitter sauce. that cook down just a little bit. Well, that's in that. Let me grab my flour. I'm going to just add in a tablespoon or so of flour. That's going to help thicken our sauce. Just sprinkle that around the top. Maybe a little bit more since I got so much. Now we're just going to work that in. Those tomatoes and onions and the garlic. This is something I could just put on some toast and eat. Smells delicious. All right, so now I'm going to add in about a half a cup of white wine. If you don't want to use wine, you can use vegetable stock. I'm just going to put this in and let it reduce just a little bit. I want to get all the pieces off the bottom of the pan. It's going to be the bases of our sauce. It's already thickening up quickly. So now I've got 1.5 cups of heavy cream. If you don't want it as rich, you can use half and half. But I'm okay with this richness. Let's stir that around. My little things here. There we go. Now, I've got, I think this is 9-ounce bag of baby spinach that I've already cleaned and rinsed. I'm going to put it in with the sauce. It's going to look like a lot, but it is going to wilt down to a crazy amount. I'm just going to cover this with not my correct lid, but I want to be able to watch this spinach. Just set that right on top and let that heat up and wilt. Let me clean this up and I'll be back when this is all wilted down. Okay, so the spinach is wilted down to not even a third, a quarter of its size down into the sauce. I've got it boiling in here. And now I'm going to put this at a side, get our salmon and put that back in. Just nestle this down in the sauce between all the spinach. There we go. And last but not least, he's going to be a fighter. We're going to reduce this to a low. Got about half a cup or more of grated parmesan. I'm going to put this around the top. We're going to cover it and let this simmer for about 3 to 4 minutes just to melt the cheese into the sauce, and we'll be back. All right, so it's been a couple minutes. The cheese looks like it's melted sufficiently. I'm gonna give it a taste and check for salt and pepper. Leaves a little salt. I didn't add salt to begin with because the Parmesan cheese is salty. So I'm just gonna add this in here, mix around a little bit. And I'm gonna pull one of these out and give it a taste. Let's see if I can get it. Let's just take this little one over here. Got some tomato, or sun-dried tomato there as well. Okay, so here's our Tuscan salmon. Got nice and flaky. sun-dried tomato, a little bit of the spinach. Nice and tender. The salmon just flakes apart, so nice. That cream sauce is delicious on it. Give it a try, tell me what you think in the comments down below. I'll put the entire recipe and all the ingredients in the description. I'll also put it at gregs-kitchen.com for those of you who like to print it out. Again, thanks for coming and joining me in my kitchen. I appreciate it. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. And I'll talk to you again next time we see you in the kitchen. Bye-bye.